Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the JR Wisdom channel. I want to thank all you guys for tuning back into my channel on this lovely Sunday. Happy Memorial Day weekend to you all. And once again, like I said, happy Sunday. Today I just want to discuss this topic. It's run across my mind, and it probably runs across a lot of you guys' mind. That's what maybe why you clicked on this video. And that's the topic of why you feel like your blessings are being withheld, why you feel, stagnant in life. Why do you feel like you're putting in all this work, but what you want, what you desire, what you are asking for, whether through prayer or anything else, it's just not coming. It's just not coming to fruition. Nothing is happening. Like, what is it that I'm doing wrong? So I just kind of wanted to elaborate on that, on something just to look at in a different light, or look at it from a different lens, or from a different viewpoint of this grand scheme of things, causality, and the way God decrees certain things, and why his reasoning may be, but nobody knows his reasoning at the end of the day. But some things may be based upon these scriptures that we read, which does shed light on why things may not be happening. Your breakthrough may be taking way too long, and you're basically, start to lose faith or give up and stuff like that, which is pretty much the wrong thing to do in anything, whether you're praying or you're using this law of attraction or whatever else. So, with that being said, I say that to say, be careful what you ask the Almighty. Be careful what you ask the universe, whatever it is that you believe in. Be careful what it is that you're asking in your prayers, because you never know when it will be revealed to you, or when it will come to you, this blessing that you're asking for. My question to you is, and this is not to be even though I say this is a Sunday sermon, this is not to be like I'm basically trying to run some game on you, but if you think about it, if you were to get it, would you actually be ready for it? That's my next question. I want you to really ask yourself that is, would you really be ready for it? Whether this be a husband or a wife, a child, if you wanted a child, a new job, or even just mercy. You know what I mean? Are you actually going to be ready for it? Because I had to sit back and think of some things, and ultimately, the readiness is more important than the blessing itself. It has to be in order to actually receive that blessing. This readiness, it can even be, from praying, praising, even thanking God, for the blessing once you receive it, And you should be at the same time praying for that wisdom, to recognize the blessing, the readiness, and the wisdom to praise and continue to thank God, because this is what pleases God at the end of the day, is the praise. So that's something to think about as well. So one thing a lot of people get caught up in is they want to determine when and where they get this blessing. Like, it has to be done by such and such time. It has to be done at this time. No, you don't decide that, just like you didn't decide when and where you were born and the circumstances in which you were born in. So that's another thing we need to think about, is trying to, tell God or determine God or this universe when and where you should be getting what it is that you're asking for. I mean, like I said, just like you were born, you didn't determine that, and you won't determine when you die, even though you think you might determine when it is that you'll die, with certain things like that. But ultimately, that's up to the Creator. So with all these things, we call it, and this is where I talk a lot about synchronicity. With all these things is this opportunity that a lot of us wait for, or this blessing, this opportunity. When this comes about, this opportunity, or as I like to say, this synchronicity, these signs, you should have the wisdom to recognize it when you come to that crossroad, to be able to determine, okay, what do I do at this point? And that's where, like I said, the synchronicity comes in, where you see certain things unfold in your life, the product, of causality, the ramifications of certain things even certain actions that you've taken on, and people call this karma. You know, the reward for good is good, the reward for evil is evil. But when God knocks, it's not like a lot of times something hitting. He's actually trying to, when they say opportunity knocks on your door, God is trying to break your door down when this is happening. So sometimes even to get to that point, you have to recognize certain things, as far as what I like to say, synchronicity, which having the ability to recognize this, the wisdom to recognize this, is something that we all should be asking for as well as the readiness. But a lot of us, we tend to think that we know what is good for us. We know, if I just have this, everything will be okay. If I just have this, everything will be all right. If I just get this woman, if I just get this car, if I just get these pair of heels, even like vain things, if I just would be able to do this, my heart will be content. And there's a old teaching that if you give a man a mountain of gold, he'll just want another mountain of gold, which is very true when it comes to vanity. So not that God doesn't answer the prayers of those who ask for things that are vain, but it's just things that we believe that is good for us, which really isn't good for us, which is another thing we need to think about and relate that to what it says in, scripture, that suppose you like a thing, that is bad for you, and hate a thing that is good for you. But God knows and you know not. At the end of the day, he has knowledge of all things, from the beginning to the end. So something may be withheld from you on purpose to preserve you, or to help you come to this understanding of what it is that you should be doing, which is actually good. Or you may have something that has struck you, some type of turmoil, some type of incident, and you feel like this is the worst thing ever. But it's actually there to help you. Like another saying goes, the storm wasn't sent to destroy you, but it was sent to save you or help you instead. And like I said, once again, that's where the synchronicity comes in as well, being able to recognize these things. So at the end of the day, regardless of what people will say, everything is done for your good. It's just when you make certain decisions at the end of the day, it will come to that. When you look at the grand scheme of things, everything, whether negative, whatever, is done to make you a better person, for your good. Whether you believe that or not, that's on you. So, like I said, God knows and you don't know, because you're just a human being. You have you can't even compare it to the intelligence of the Almighty. So, just keep that in mind. Just look at it as these things being withheld, as you being a parent, and you're trying to keep your toddler straight, or not straight, but safe, a baby safe. You notice, for all of you who are parents who have small children, you're constantly trying to save them from killing themselves, from doing all types of, stop that, trying to keep them from falling off a bed, trying to keep them from drowning in the tub, trying to keep them from, cutting themselves, hurting themselves, being hit by a car. All this you have to do as the parent and guardian, and you are the cherisher and the sustainer of your children, just like God is the cherisher and sustainer of you. So it's certain things that he may be trying to block you from or keep you from, just to protect you, just the way you would protect the child. And like that old adage goes, of trying to withhold water, even though we find that to be not as true these days, but holding water from a person who has a sickness, an illness, or even a fever, withholding water from them just to help them and not harm them. So, and that can come with the same thing if we want to relate to the children thing, withholding candy from your kids, not giving them candy, not giving them snacks, not giving them cakes, cookies, but they believe it's good for them at the end of the day, but it's really not, and that's for any vice that anyone may have. Some vices are dangerous for you, but I guess for the most part, people look at vices as not good for you in general. Just like your children may not deserve Xbox, PlayStation, sneakers, all these other things, and you don't get it for them because you know that they don't deserve it, and what they would do once they get it would make them rotten children, maybe, possibly. But that's just things that you should look at. And if your child isn't even prepared, and you know your child is prepared, yet still sometimes some parents still get them and spoil these kids, and they ended up being rotten or going wayward and stuff like that. You know, same thing with sending me a boyfriend, send me a girlfriend, send me a husband, send me a wife, and you're not even ready. You don't even have your stuff in order for that. You know, and a few more things. Like I said, I'm not going to tarry too much longer on this video, but is what are you doing to other people? How are you treating other people? How are you treating yourself? Are you oppressing other people? Are you inflicting harm upon other people? Are you trying to withhold other people's blessings or stop other people's blessings? Are you even a blessing to people at the end of the day? You know, have you made amends with people? Have you forgiven people? Or are you just walking around conducting yourself like you're better or holier than thou, and that you're too good to forgive someone, or, you know, too good to make amends with someone? That's another thing we need to think of is, are we within the grace of God at the end of the day to receive these blessings? You know, how are you living? How are you living your life at the end of the day? And a lot of you will say there's plenty of evil people out here that are doing things and they're getting blessings, you know, but that's not up to you to decide that. That's not up to you to determine, hey, because you don't know what's going on in that person's life. You don't know, this person could be strung out on drugs. This person could be going through all types of anarchy and chaos within their own life, you know, and beset with all these other evil things. So you have no clue what's going on behind closed doors. It looks good. You know what I mean? They may not be able to sleep at night. Their children may be wayward or doing ungodly things, or their wife, husband, whatever may be doing all these things. So that's just stuff for you to think about. Just remember your turmoils, your calamities, your difficulties, they're all temporary. They don't last. Just think of it like when you have a little small child, like I said once again, or a toddler, and you throw that toddler up in the air, and that toddler is so frightened, even though you're having fun. That toddler is so frightened, but once they land back in your arms, they're at peace again. So that's the nature that I like to compare to calamities and these turmoils and things like that. So just be patient. The blessing is coming. The patience is what matters the most, I guess. So I just wanted to touch on this real quick. Hopefully you guys, enjoyed this video. Make sure y'all go ahead and like the video. It's free. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and subscribe. Share this message with anyone else who may need it. Make sure you guys comment. Like to hear what you guys have to say. Like I already said, subscribe. Check me out on Amazon. If you got any videos that you like me, or any topics you'd like me to talk about, feel free to email me those topics. The email is in the description. Check out my books. The link is in the description as well on Amazon. Throw a couple coins in the well of wisdom if you feel like it. If not, that's cool too. And just remember, anything lost can be found again except for time wasted. I'll see you guys on the next video or live chat. Peace be upon you all, and the mercy and blessings of God. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.